For a little bit more, let's bring in A.B. Stoddard, Associate Editor with Real Clear Politics. A.B., we heard Rich's report there. We're getting this constant drip, drip, drip. Is this giving voters fatigue? Do they not care about the content? Or do you feel like we should really be paying attention to some of these emails?
Well, we have paid attention, and they really cement her negatives as a really calculating politician. She has been running for president since 2005, and she knew when she left the State Department and was giving very expensive speeches that she was going to be running again. A lot is being revealed in the emails. It's just hard to be considered explosive when Donald Trump's campaign is imploding.
So getting overshadowed.
And so it is getting overshadowed. That doesn't mean that a death by 1,000 cuts effect won't take place. If something devastating is revealed, it could be terrible for her. The State Department also is releasing emails on October 21 and on November 4th, the Friday before the election. We don't know what's going to be in them. They don't know what's going to be in them. And I think it's going to make for a very tough debate on Wednesday night for her.
You mentioned her speeches, because I do want to get back to her emails, but there was a Fox News poll done just recently, and it said that 57% of voters polled, of course, felt like her speeches were no big deal. Is that really the pulse of voters? Because some of the material in those speeches goes against really everything on her platform, specifically the borders, specifically trade deals. Those are big, big issues for folks.
Right. It's very interesting because we're all nervous about whether or not polling can be trusted, and we have a handle on how to read polls in this election, especially after what happened in 2012. But the thing is that it is an issue that speaks to her, sort of character as a leader, and then her her actions as a leader. She took a chance to speak to big banks in between a Secretary of State tenureship and then a run for the president, and in a presidency in which she sort of was able to blow kisses in their ear and then take a more progressive stance when she was running against a liberal socialist like Bernie Sanders. So it's kind of, don't worry what I say, just worry what I tell you in private. And she actually did articulate that she takes two positions, one in public and one in private. Again, I think it would be very much more damaging if we were not in the face of 8 women accusing Donald Trump of groping, and him really going off the rails in terms of his response to the allegation. So that said, what has come out has not really ended her campaign. Doesn't mean that there won't be something that will come out that could be politically fatal.
When we look at the way the campaign has handled it, we've seen a lot of deflection, a lot of them saying, look at where it's coming from, really focusing on Russia and the validity of those conversations. Do you think they've handled it appropriately, especially ahead of the debate?
I think they have no choice but to try to deflect, right? It's what, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have both done that. You sort of stonewall and try to move on to something else. Look, what was frustrating to me as a citizen of this country that I love is that the Russian interference in this election is actually an alarming and it's horrifying.
Are people focusing enough on it?
But that doesn't mean when the Clinton campaign tries to deflect back to that, away from the contents of these personal communications, that it doesn't mean, it has nothing to do with the contents of those emails. But it is a separate factor, and actually no one from Donald Trump through anyone in his campaign or closely tied to his campaign, his friends and allies, no one has disavowed this. And he's been briefed about it in his intelligence, his classified briefings. He knows exactly that it's happening. Our government confirmed it publicly last week. It is, you can speak to members of House Intelligence and Senate Intelligence. This is just a devastating development, but it has nothing to do with what John Podesta was doing when he was scheming in his emails on the campaign.
Getting the rap in my ear, and I know you know what that means, but I do want to ask you ahead of the debate, how can she be prepared to answer these as opposed to just deflecting and saying, listen, we need to be focused on this is Russia? I
think she's going to write it off as campaign, machinations, and then go right back to the Russia talking point. That's what I expect.
A.B., thank you so much.
Thank you.